afford now. Maybe your first marriage has failed. Now the credit that affected, because if you get married and then one person is blacklisted, you are automatically blacklisted.
So like now I'm a person, is there a good time for me to buy? Like I have a job now, I think I can afford to buy a house. Is there a good time for me to buy? Like, is it during the beginning of the year, the end of the year? Does it like in my 20s, in my 30s? Like when is, like if a person wants to buy a house, when is there an optimal time for the person to buy a house, or it doesn't matter?
All right. I've been telling, I always tell some people that I talk to regarding this, usually this topic, where I say, in buying a property, there's nothing like a thing of saying, I'm waiting to buy the property. Because there's a statement that we usually use to say, don't wait to buy a property, but buy one and wait. You get the sense? Because property, it's an asset. It's a sentimental asset. If you're buying it, maybe for yourself to say, this is my house that I'm buying. So whenever it's okay for you, the time that you qualify to buy, the bank approves you, regardless it's a buyer's market or it's a seller's market. You have to buy your own property, because when the buyer's market comes, what if by that time you are no longer qualifying? Because being a buyer's market doesn't mean that even if you've got a bad credit, you can qualify.
Okay.
You see?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't need to say, I'm waiting for the buyer's market. Maybe for those who are buying for investment, to say they are.
So if you're buying it for your own personal, your family, like the best time is anytime.
Anytime is the best time to buy a property. But if you're buying for business, if you're buying for investment, you have to be like those people who buy stocks. You see, those who go on the stock market, they know when stocks, they how to buy them and then sell them at a profit and everything. So you wait when they go down, then you buy, then you sell them when the price go up. So these people who buy for investment, they buy because they say, I want to wait until now people are, when it becomes a buyer's market. And these markets, they don't, these periods of saying a buyer's market or a seller's market, it doesn't last long. Sometimes it lasts long, but sometimes it doesn't last long. But then to answer to you, to say, like now, is it a good time for a person to buy a house? Yes, I can say it is. And every time is the best time to buy a house. If you want to do something, do it now. There's no best way of doing it except now. You see.
Okay.
And yeah. So the right time to buy a house is, okay, fine. If you look at the trends now, world over, not only in South Africa, if you check people who are between, let's say, between 18 to 35, in terms of the rate of approvals by banks, these people, they get more credit, right? Why? Because most of these people, they are coming from school, they are fresh, they are starting to work. And if you are looking at how banks do, they do like insurance. You see, when you are getting your life policy, the more you grow older, your policy becomes expensive, because you are going to get old, or maybe eventually to die, or maybe as compared to someone who's 22. Someone who is joining insurance to say, I want a cover, is joining at 52. You see that the premium, they're higher than the one who joins for the same package, maybe who is 23. You see?
Yeah.
So that's the same thing that happens.
So like if you said from 18 to 35, so if you're above 35, it's sort of like you have to buy quickly or something. Like you have to buy as soon as possible or what?
Not really. Not really. I just gave a range where
or an example, okay.
Yeah, an example to say, but we cannot say, or maybe let's say between that 18 to 40 years, people are starting to build, they are starting to build their own lives, right? You're from school, you went to varsity, maybe you left varsity at 22 or whatever age. You are looking for a job. You got a job maybe at 25, get a job. Mostly your credit will be clean by that time.
Yeah.
Because you haven't been in debt, you haven't seen a lot, you haven't experienced a lot. There are no divorces by that time that affect your, you see. So, but now you are about 40 now. Maybe your first marriage has failed. Now the credit that affected, because if you get married and then one person is blacklisted, you are automatically blacklisted. You see. So now going to divorce, and then now you are 45, you are divorcing, and it affects you as well if you want to buy. If during the subsistence of your previous marriage, it issues to do with your credit issues, you become declined. But now common sense now tells us that if you are young, and then young professionals, they are easily approved by banks.
Okay, but then now so if life happened, fine, life has happened, and then your credits is somehow bad. I had like a credit. Let me actually go to it now. So your credit is actually bad. So now, okay, fine, you're 45, you're restarting your life. What is there, like, if your credit is bad, say even if you're young, but specifically maybe for the older people, your credit is bad, and then how long do you wait for it to be, how long does it take to clear that bad credit? Like, is it a year? Is it 6 months? What are they going to look for? When I want to say, now I'm ready to start my life, I'm ready to buy a house, I've made some mistake, I've made some errors, I'm getting my life and my credit back on track. How do you come back from that?
Okay. So what happens is, like, you are trying to repent from whatever went through you, and then you have a bad credit, right? You are owing. The only thing that you can do to correct your credit is to pay up your debts.
Okay.
There's no any other way that we can say you are going to do this and do this and do this. The only way that you can do to correct your credit is to update your arrears if you are owing. But then there are situations when you was on credit. There are components that are involved there. You have been flighted on your status that you are owing, or maybe you have been paying late, right? Maybe your account that you were having, maybe loans that you were paying, you are failing to pay them, or maybe you lost your job and everything, or maybe your account for Shein or whatever, clothing account or phone account that you're paying late. Then there's where you see an indication that a client has been there's a default on the client, and then there's a judgment as well on the. We find some people, they have 2-3 judgments on their credit, right? And then you've seen people who have gone through what they call the debt review, right? So when you are going to a debt review, actually, I think that the step that you have to take if you are owing, like you are now maybe you got a new job, but now for you to clear those arrears at once, you go to then they do a debt review on you, and then they give you time to sort out your, and then from that time you have to start paying uh religiously without jumping any month, without delaying payments. So you have to start paying. So you will see some credits they take to be clear, because once you pay up everything, or maybe because it's not a matter of paying maybe the principal amount of what you're owing, it's paying the arrears of your repayments that
when they're due.
yeah, when they are due. So cover those areas. Having a repayment that you are paying on time, even if the principal balance is high, as long as you are able to pay that. But now having arrears now, it's always red, 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 red. Then it becomes a problem as well. So now, once you clear, let's say you've cleared whatever you are owing, whether you cleared the principal amount or maybe you've cleared the arrears, but still the loan is still ongoing. Wherever you are owing, right? There's a letter that they write to say you have cleared whatever, to say now you are in good standing now. But then when they submit, like to either it's TPN or Windit, when they submit to that, sometimes it might take because I think they've been monitoring to see maybe you've paid up your arrears, but how are you going to do after you've paid your arrears? Are you going to start again? Well, so you find maybe it takes maybe 2 to 3 months before it really clears on your score,
Okay.
or it really becomes in the positive of your credit score.
Okay.
So,
And
on the question that you said, sorry, you want to say something?
no, it's fine. I want to actually segue to what a good credit score is, but we can talk
Okay,
about
so
this as well.
then here you said you asked to say on this question that you answered, you said how does a bad credit score affect the application? So no financial institution, or not even any lender, or not even like okay, literally, if you those people who go to the machonistas who lend money for this and this and this, if you have got a bad credit with them, they won't give you. It's simple as that.
Okay.
So now, because now that was in an informal sector, but this one in the formal sector, it's not like you have bad credit with them. Even those ones in the informal sector, if they tell each other that so and so doesn't pay, don't give them money. They won't give you. It's simple as that. They won't give you.
Yeah.
You see, because they know that you are a burden to pay back. Because to be honest with you, there are people who borrow money with the intention of not paying it back. Right?
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Sure, but sometimes life happens. Like it just happens. I think like this credit part, like I think I'm gonna get you back to discuss this specifically, because sometimes like just unfortunate things happen to people, and it's not like they're unwilling to pay, or so sometimes it's sort of like, especially credit, it's so huge, it's so important because it affects your ability to get credit in the future, and then that can just affect the quality of your life, and cleaning that up, it's quite a huge topic. But I think we probably, because you've also worked for the bank, we'll definitely do another session on that one specifically.